Part 35. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 341. By Jian Chun. She looked at Feng Yuyu speechless and confused. Is her sowing discord so effective? Good guy, he changed directly from brother Yujin to Qin Yujin, and he also changed from a gentle and warm man to a big scumbag. His attitude changed so fast that Bai Jianchun almost thought that he was a spy who was trying to sow discord. Have you heard? Qin Yujin is definitely not a good match. Feng Yuyu looked at her in a daze and couldn't help but put his hands on her shoulders and looked at her seriously and emphasized again. Bai Jianchun came back to her senses. Oh, I'm listening, but why are you talking to me? She frowned slightly and glanced at him in confusion. Since I know he deliberately approached me, how could I still be fooled? I'm not stupid. You should tell Miss Sheng, who likes him, this. Feng Yuyu met her suspicious and disdainful eyes, and took his hand back, then tugged at the corners of his mouth to cover up some of his unstable emotions, and then turned away his eyes with a guilty conscience. Ahem, what? But we can't. There is no evidence, these are just speculations. If I tell Sister Shen, she won't believe me. After all, my reputation is far from his. Bai Jianchun glanced at him and chuckled, you are self-aware. Feng Yuyu twitched his lips, not knowing whether to be happy or cry. It seemed that it was time to save his image and reputation. Bai Jianchun thought for a while, then let them develop their own affairs, but I don't trust the second prince. You can check it secretly. Okay, I will check. Feng Yuyu nodded directly without hesitation. There are many things going on in the empire, especially the hidden danger of red thread cells. For safety reasons, even if he does not check Qin Yujin now, he will check later. And after Bai Qianchun's suggestion, even if there was no evidence, he still felt alienated from Qin Yujin, as if his previous goodwill suddenly disappeared. If you think about it carefully, where did his good impression of Qin Yujin come from? Although he had some memories of his childhood, he didn't meet Qin Yujin many times. When he was 3 years old, he encountered an accident and ended up on the garbage planet with his eldest sister. Later, he only met Qin Yujin 2 or 3 times when he came back, and he didn't talk much. After not saying a few words, the most profound impression was that Qin Yujin was his cousin's important and trusted right-hand man. His good impression probably came from his cousin. In fact, he himself didn't know much about Qin Yujin. After figuring it out, Feng Yuyu put aside his initial favorable impression of Qin Yujin and told Bai Jianchun about him. The birth of the second prince Qin Yujin was actually not glorious. He was born to the emperor's maid who took advantage of a loophole and crawled into bed. At that time, His Majesty the Emperor only had one wife, the Empress Feng Wangxian, and they had a deep love for each other. The Empress also gave birth to the eldest Prince Qin Yuchen and the eldest Princess Qin Yutang one after another. The second Prince Qin Yujin and the eldest Princess Qin Yutang were the same age, only older than the elder. The princess is 3 months younger, which explains the problem very well. Qin Yujin was created by His Majesty the Emperor and others when the Empress was pregnant with the eldest princess. Even though he was just the son of a maid, it was proof of His Majesty's disloyalty and a thorn in the Queen's heart. Therefore, among the many children of His Majesty the Emperor, the second Prince Qin Yujin is the one the Empress hates the most. Perhaps out of guilt, His Majesty the Emperor also had a rift with Qin Yujin, mother and son, and did not even give them formal titles. When Qin Yujin was 3 years old, his mother died, and he completely became a pitiable child in the palace. It wasn't until he was 6 years old that Prince Qin Yuchen met and rescued him because he was being bullied, and then gave him asylum. The situation in the palace was finally getting better. Later, Qin Yujin became the little follower of the Crown Prince Qin Yuchen. With Qin Yuchen's help, he had an official status and became the second prince of the empire. Since then, Qin Yujin has been following Qin Yuchen, from the military academy to the 1st Army Corps, becoming his right-hand man and one of the most trusted people. This life experience is not too problematic at first glance. It is the story of a poor little boy who was saved by his brother, repaid his kindness, worked hard, and was willing to become a pawn and right-hand man. But can a person who was abandoned after birth, who also experienced the pain of losing his mother and being bullied for 6 years, really grow into a gentle, kind, and loving Holy Father? There are possibilities. It is undeniable that human nature is good. Some people will wipe away the darkness after catching the sunshine in difficult times, and they will become pure and kind for the sake of the sunshine. But the greater possibility is that the darkness buried in childhood will accompany and affect life throughout life. Just based on the few conversations and meetings before, it was difficult for Bai Jianchun to determine what kind of person Qin Yujin was. Although she felt that the second type was more likely, there was still no evidence. The two of them finished talking about Qin Yujin's birth. They each said a few words of opinion and passed it off lightly. Then they talked about the small robot sent to the factory to make balls. Feng Yuyu had already set the program for the small robot. He was in the factory just now. If the results of the test here are satisfactory, you can directly start making the stone cicada attractant. Before they knew it, the two of them had walked out of the woods. Okay, I finally found you. It turns out you are here. Suddenly a shout of surprise rang out. Bai Qianchun and Feng Yuyu stopped talking and looked over. They saw Shen Dongjing and Shen Donghuai, two siblings, sprinting towards them at a sprint speed of 800 meters in the distance. Feng Yuyu paused and wanted to run away, but he was too late. The two siblings were like leopards eyeing their prey, anticipating his thoughts and outflanking him, one on the left and the other on the right. As for the back, wouldn't running behind prove that he was afraid of them? Besides, there was Bai Qianchun beside him. He couldn't afford to be embarrassed, so he could only look at him with a smile on his lips. Surrounded. He glanced at the two of them with his peach blossom eyes. What are you doing? Shen Donghuai rubbed his hands together and came closer, making him look obscene like a beautiful man with a devilish temperament. He smiled eagerly and looked at him. Feng Xiao'er, you promised me before that you would help me create opportunities for your cousin and I think the place in Antarctica is good. The red maple leaves are particularly beautiful and there are few people. It's suitable for a date in the world. Feng Yuyu looked jealous in his heart. He hadn't even been there with Bai Qianchun yet, so she wanted to catch up with him and go on a date there. Oh, what a beautiful thought. However, he kept a smile on his face and said in a high-sounding way, what did I promise you? I only said to think about it and do my best. You saw it just now. My cousin only promised me to go to a place after discussing with me every time. But there is no chance for my cousin and I to compete today. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luziy. Chapter 342. Shen Donghui's eyes rolled and drifted to Bai Qianchun. The younger brothers and sisters are competing, let the younger brothers and sisters mention. Feng Yuyu immediately glared at him. This guy had already thought about it, right? This time, before Feng Yuyu could say anything to reject it, Shen Dongjing, who was waiting impatiently, pulled him away and scolded him, you kid, don't take any ideas from your younger siblings. I'm a good girl and won't get involved with you. Point something out. Then she turned back to look at Feng Yuyu and said with a warm smile, Xiao I understand that you are reluctant to let your cousin marry off so early. The second prince is a man and his relationship with you is far away. You can't. You won't be willing to part with it, good brother, just help your sister Jing and I pull the red line. Sister Jing will thank you. When the time comes, I really want to get the second prince. Well, I mean, then if the second prince is really successful, I will definitely give you a big red envelope as a matchmaker gift when you get married. Shen Donghuai, who was stabbed in the back by his own sister, was so angry that he almost vomited out a mouthful of old blood. He gritted his teeth and interrupted angrily, "Sister, things have to be settled on a first come, first served basis. Let Feng Xiao ask the eldest princess out first and then let him help. You make an appointment with the second prince." Shen Dongjing refused and snorted ruthlessly, "Then how long do I have to wait? The daylilies are already cold. Besides, relationships cannot be set on a first come, first served basis. You have to prioritize. Your sister, I am 2 years older than you. I have paid the single tax for 2 more years than you. Obviously, I, an older woman, am more anxious. What do you want me to do?" Shen Donghui snorted, but argued with reason, "Sister, you have been waiting for so many years and you don't care about these few hours. It's not much different. Besides, there is a saying that if a woman pursues a man with a veil, the man you are obviously more advantageous than me when it comes to chasing girls across a mountain, and the second prince is also a gentle and good-tempered person. He must be easy to date. You don't have to ask Feng Xiao to take action. Just go and date yourself. The second prince will definitely agree to go with you." "You went out." Shen Dongjing slapped him on the shoulder, her face turned red with annoyance. "You know what the heck, this is called the daughter's reserve. I'm so careless and go straight to ask someone out. I don't want to lose face. Besides, the second prince liked him at first sight. I am a gentle and romantic person, so I have to create a chance encounter or something to achieve my goal." Shen Donghui also resolutely refused to back down and said with a sad look on his face, "Although I don't want face, I can't date anyone if I don't want face. It's not like you don't know the temperament of the eldest princess. She likes to be lively and is always snoring when she goes out. Friends and company come in groups, and her personal bodyguards and adjutants are inseparable. If Feng Xiao hadn't been in the middle to help me arrange appointments, how could I have found the world of 2 people?" So the 2 siblings got into a fight over who should Feng Yuyu help as a matchmaker first, and they argued at the top of their voices that the father-in-law was right and the mother-in-law was right. Feng Yuyu, the key person, became a marginal figure, standing aside with Bai Qianchun with his arms folded, watching the show. It wasn't until 10 minutes later that Feng Yuyu's communication rang 3 or 4 times, and then became more and more urgent before he interrupted the 2 of them. "Okay, I won't help anyone today. I'm very busy with something, you guys can do it yourself, let's have some fun. Anyway, your relationship isn't that deep, and there's no need to confess. There's no need for 2 people to live together. It's the same for 3 or 4 people traveling together. At worst, one of you will abduct the other, so walk as a pair and walk as a pair. If you slow down, it won't be a world of 2 anymore." The 2 siblings heard it, and it made sense. Feng Xiao is now married, and his mind has become much more flexible. This trick is easy to come by. So the 2 siblings, who consciously learned a trick, shook hands and made peace again, and then went back with a smile and made an appointment to visit Mu Yuan Star together. Bai Qianchun glanced sideways at Feng Yuyu, who was frowning at the communication messages. Knowing that he was going to be busy again, she accepted the job of keeping an eye on the eldest princess and the second prince, and rushed him to get started. Feng Yuyu hesitantly nuzzled beside her, wanting to hug her and kiss her like a normal couple to gain some motivation before going back to work, but in the end he restrained his actions rationally and just took a deep look at her. Then he said something and turned to leave. Bai Qianchun watched his tall and straight figure leave with heavy steps. The sun fell on his shoulders and seemed to collapse them. A faint light flashed in her dark eyes, and she felt light in her heart. Tisk. The burden on this man is indeed a bit heavy now. If he is overworked or something goes wrong, it will not do her any good to plot his death. Her eyes dimmed, and she turned her head to the right, looking at the tenderest treetops, and said in a cold and penetrating voice, "Come out." The green treetops moved, and the figure of a kohlrabi star appeared. It glided over from the sky with a pair of wings of light, propped up a big head, and pointed at her with a small wooden stick fiercely. How do you know where this Protus is hiding? No Tulik has ever seen through this Protoss invisibility, not even the host with the contract. Bai Qianchun had a smile on her lips, a pair of black eyes filled with mysterious light, and said jokingly, "Guess." The little star shook the small wooden stick and cursed, "You are lying, you two-legged liar, liar, how could you guess the location of this star correctly? I have read a lot, don't even think about it." "Lied to me." Bai Qianchun spread her hands, "Then how do you think I know?" Little Zinglin paused and glared at her unconvinced. "If I know this, can I still ask you?" The corners of Bai Qianchun's mouth were raised high. When she was in a bad mood, teasing this funny little star actually made her feel much better. In order to avoid losing this little star's spiritual energy, she stopped and stated the purpose of finding it. "How about we make a deal? You can help me monitor the 4 new people, especially the one who always laughs. Man, if he makes any little moves, how about you tell me and I'll tell you the answer after they leave Jupiter." The little star tilted her little head. "Is it the two-legged beast with the disgusting smile, or the prince among the two-legged beasts? Laughing so disgustingly, Bala, poof. It seems that the pure star spirits don't have a good impression of him either." Bai Qianchun suppressed a smile and nodded, "That's him." The little star spirit raised a hand, divided the 5 little fingers, and said seriously, "Add 5 more potato skewers." Bai Qianchun readily agreed, "Okay, it's a deal." The little seemling held her head with both hands and looked embarrassed. If she had known better, she would have stretched out an extra hand and asked for 10 skewers. But as a star spirit who keeps his word, he can no longer bargain after the deal is made. He can only hold on to the 2 light wings and fly dejectedly in the direction where the Shen brothers and sisters left just now. A green figure flickered and disappeared into the air. Bai Qianchun stood there and watched for a while, then left with a thoughtful look on his face. What this man Feng Yu is doing now is very dangerous. Once the news is leaked, it will lead to the disaster of killing. She has to make some life-saving medicine for him to take. She has not yet established a foothold in this interstellar world. This supporter cannot fail. It would be troublesome to find another one. For now, she is quite satisfied with this backer. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 343. In the evening, just before Muyuan Star was about to close, a large number of people gathered in the square and enjoyed their last meal at Muyuan Star. After the meal, there was the much-anticipated last pill sale. The quartet of Qin Yutang, Qin Yujin, Sheng Donghui and Sheng Dongjing, who had successfully dated in the afternoon, also experienced the rush-buying craze in the original way. However, they just came today, and the equipment was not that complete. They were soon in front of their competitors. He suffered a loss through despicable means. Not long after the shouting started, the 2 good-looking men couldn't stand the sluts around them who were trying to take advantage of them. They covered their clothes to protect their innocence and left the competition venue one after another with pale faces. It makes a group of girls who want to take the opportunity to hang out with high-quality handsome men sigh in their hearts. On the opposite side of the 2 men are the 2 women, Qin Yutang and Sheng Dongjing. Even though they don't wear the same standard gold fishbowl suits, they can still get by with ease in the crowd. With their own force value, they directly crushed those sneaky and despicable methods, and quickly carved a bloody path. The 2 women were evenly matched, but the eldest princess was slightly superior and temporarily took the lead. However, the final result was shocking. Qin Yutang was dragged away by a young fan who crazily admired her and took away a button as a souvenir. So much so that she was stopped in her tracks. The so-called slightest mistake was 1,000 miles away, but Shen Dongjing surpassed her, took the lead, and won the final right to reserve the venue. This story tells us that fans are sometimes a hindrance. Qin Yutang also scolded the people in the royal propaganda department in her heart for this. If they hadn't written the manuscript so well in the past 2 days and praised her to the sky, she, who has been in the army all year round, would be almost at odds with the outside world. How can such a fanatical fan come from people who have little contact? It must be those people's fault. It was obvious that Qin Yutang was very angry that he failed to get a reserved seat. After the rush sale, red silk was flying, and the smoke of competition in the brightly lit square soon subsided. It was time for Muyuan Star to be closed as promised. A group of people said goodbye to Bai Qianchun and headed to Muyuan Star Airport to leave without taking up space. Bai Qianchun's black hair was scattered, and she was standing not far from the crowd in a warm white casual outfit. The bright light illuminated her beautiful face, which was even more delicate and dazzling. Her skin was as white as snow, and her black eyes were even more bright and beautiful. At this time, she was watching those people leave with dull eyes, nodding slightly to those who were saying goodbye from time to time to show her courtesy as the master of Muyuan Star. Cousin Qin Yutang, wearing a black short-sleeved top with unbuttoned buttons and a pair of cool overalls, walked towards this side looking slightly embarrassed. His eyebrows were furrowed, and there was an annoyed look on his face. Bai Qianchun nodded to a familiar lady and looked towards her. A slight smile suddenly appeared on her plain face. "Cousin, what can I do?" Qin Yutang scratched his head, with a rare expression of embarrassment on his handsome and heroic face. He raised his eyes and met Bai Qianchun's beautiful little peach blossom eyes. He quickly moved away with a guilty conscience and squeezed coquettishly. He spoke out, "Cousin, I'm here to go through the back door. Can you sell me a few of your whitening pills?" After saying this, her face was on fire. It was obvious that she felt a little ashamed of herself for coming through the back door. There was a surprised look on Bai Qianchun's face, and her eyes swept around Qin Yutang's face. To be honest, the eldest princess's skin color was not black, but it was definitely not white. It was much better than wheat color, but it was not as bright as wheat. Bai Qianchun's fair and translucent skin is incomparable. But Bai Qianchun didn't think the princess needed to become whiter. With her skin color and hairstyle, this outfit was the best match. Her white skin wouldn't be able to match this outfit. Qin Yutang also noticed her look, with a look of embarrassment on his face, then took a deep breath and simply let go of the awkwardness and spoke. "I'm not. It's not me who wants to become white. It's my mother. She says all the time that I don't look like a woman, like a tomboy. She doesn't even allow me to join the army. My eldest brother and I begged her for a long time before. She agreed to let me go to the Legion for training, but she also had a condition that I couldn't turn black. If I turned into black charcoal, she wouldn't let me go to the Legion and would just lock me up at home. I wouldn't be able to leave until I became white. So I put a lot of effort into my face. I take care of myself all day long, apply sunscreen, and go to bed early and get up early to drink plenty of water to prevent moisture loss. All in all, it's such a damn trouble. I don't have the time to take care of myself. Go to the fighting arena and find someone to practice your skills with." Speaking of this, Qin Yutang still looked depressed. Hearing this, Shen Dongjing, who was following behind, nodded empathetically. "Yeah, it's really hard not to be black and to stay young and beautiful, and I've also wasted a lot of effort." As she spoke, she touched her face, glanced at Shen Donghui, and then at Qin Yujin, who was white and glowing, and said in a sour tone, "I don't know why, some men can maintain their health without even using maintenance. It's so fair and fair that it's better than a woman's skin, it's really unreasonable." Qin Yutang also looked over, his eyes scanning around Shen Donghui's face and then Qin Yujin's face. his eyes gradually turned sour and a little dissatisfied. Sheng Donghuai, my dear sister harmed me, and all he did in the afternoon to please the eldest princess to increase her favorability was in vain, ugh. Qin Yujin, who was affected, seemed not to notice the jealousy of the two women, and smiled warmly at them, suddenly shining brightly. Qin Yutang and Sheng Dongjing blinded their eyes. The two women looked away in tacit agreement. One took out the whitening pill she just bought and stuffed one into her mouth, while the other looked at Bai Qianchun eagerly. Cousins, look. Bai Qianchun glanced at her with a look that said, "You're in trouble," and then showed an embarrassed look. "I haven't made any whitening pills in the past 2 days, and all my previous inventory was cleared during the last rush sale. Otherwise, cousin, please discuss with the eldest sister of the Sheng family and ask her to sell you a few pills." The number of whitening pills sold in the last session was more, 3,000. Qin Yutang immediately turned his head to Sheng Dongjing, his eyes shining. Sheng Dongjing quickly covered her space button and looked at her warily. "I can sell you 10 at most, and I have to take the rest back to share with my family. The eldest princess should know that our Sheng family can give birth to children, and not much else. Even if there are many women, even 3,000 pills are not enough." Okay, then Qin Yutang originally wanted the lion to buy her dozens or hundreds of pills and solve her whitening problem for hundreds of years at once, but now she can only give up with regret. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luziy. Chapter 344. After the two of them finished the transaction and got the pills, Qin Yutang hurriedly stuffed one into his mouth, trying to get white before reaching the main star, so that he wouldn't have to listen to his mother's nagging about how women should live delicately. Skincare and other small classes that she was not interested in at all. Qin Yutang, who had taken the whitening pills, was happy and exchanged messages with Bai Qianchun again. He said with a smile, "Cousin, if you plan to sell whitening pills to others in the future, please remember to inform me. I won't go through the back door and ask you to buy them directly. You just let me know the news so I can get ready, otherwise I'm afraid I'll forget about it during training." Bai Qianchun smiled and said, "Of course, cousin, don't worry, I will definitely inform you." She now likes this cousin who doesn't go through the back door so much. As soon as she said this, the two siblings from the Sheng family fell into disgrace for a second and looked at her, as if they wanted to buy through the back door. Qin Yujin of Yaoanzi can be said to be a precise striker. No, as soon as Qin Yutang finished speaking, Qin Yujin's thin lips that were slightly open immediately closed and pursed into a straight line, which saved Bai Qianchun from finding a suitable reason to reject him. Before investigating clearly, Bai Qianchun was reluctant to sell the pills to him. As for the reason, she didn't know why. It was just a feeling that she couldn't sell it or didn't want to sell it. It was even stronger than her previous feeling of not wanting to sell it to Qin Yushin. Qin Yujin's adjustment ability is very good. She was unhappy for a moment and then looked at him with a smile. "Then cousins, please also add a communication with me. If anything happens in the future, cousins can ask me for help." Bai Qianchun did not refuse, smiled, and nodded, "Okay." Then the Sheng brothers and sisters also shouted to add communication, and after the four of them talked lively for a long time, they took Qin Yushin, who was locked in a square cage, to the starry skyport. Bai Qianjun and his friends quickly followed. From a distance, Bai Qianjun's worried and distressed voice could be heard, be gentle, the third princess is weak, don't scratch her and hurt her." Qin Yutang's impatient voice also came, "Don't let me, princess, chatter here. She is not your Bai family now, and you are not qualified to take care of it. Go away. Qin Yushin, take care of your dog, otherwise, I'll let you try what real pain is." Ah! A sharp scream came, and Puyi, who was hiding behind the big tree, shook in fear, rubbed his hands on his arms, and then quietly slipped back after watching the person go away. The square was much empty and lonely, with only a few star citizens left to clean up the mess. Bai Qianchun was standing under a big banyan tree, raising her head and not knowing what she was looking at. Pu Yi's eyes lit up, and he trotted over in a hurry, shouting flatteringly, "Gu, the lord of the ancient medical star." Well, Bai Qianchun turned around and looked up at her, surprise flashing in his eyes. "Why haven't you left yet?" Pu Yi's face fell, and his eyes were a little sad. "I'm about to finish the antidote, and I will be finished if I leave Muyuan star." Bai Qianchun, "Oh, I forgot. Pui, #U100026 /U0026%. There were countless things she wanted to say in her heart, but she didn't dare. She could only maintain a flattering smile. "What about my antidote?" Bai Qianchun glanced at her pretty little face that dared to be angry but dared not speak. Then he took out a wooden box from the space and threw it to her. "Here is the antidote. There are more than 300 pills, enough for you to take. It's been a while. If it's gone, remember to ask me for it again. I'll send it to you, but you'll have to pay for it." Pu Yi held the small box with a happy face. It turned out that the ancient medicine star master had prepared it for her a long time ago. She quickly promised that she would never reveal the secret between their husband and wife, and said that it was appropriate to pay. In order to save her precious little life, it doesn't matter if she spends more money. Anyway, her father promised to give her a reward when she returned with the pills she bought this time. "Then, Lord Ancient Medicine Star, I will leave first. My little sisters are still waiting for me to board the starship." "Goodbye, Lord Ancient Medicine Star." Pu Yi waved to her happily. Bai Qianchun responded calmly, "Goodbye." Then she continued to look up at the big banyan tree. A small green figure gradually appeared on the big banyan tree. The kohlrabi star flew down humming and asked, "Where are my roasted potato skewers?" The corner of Bai Qianchun's lips curled up. "Let's get people ready. Please tell me about your monitoring results first. How is the man doing this afternoon? Is there anything strange?" The little star spirit stood on one foot on the tip of a small green vine wrapped around a big banyan tree, and raised her chin. "Does it count to hook up with someone?" He is talking happily to the female two-legged beast. "According to your two-legged, the beast statement is just teasing. Let this Protoss say, this male two-legged beast with a disgusting smile is not a good mate, has no single-minded good qualities at all, and has seduced several people with his eyes." Female. Bai Qianchun's face showed surprise. "Oh, who else did you hook up with?" The little star scratched his head and said confidently, "I can't remember clearly. There are many of them. You two-legged beasts all look similar. They are all well-dressed females. It doesn't have the nymphomaniac attribute of Little Venus, which only focuses on human faces." Bai Qianchun, she was speechless. Speaking of which, the noble girls in Pui were sometimes confused because they dress similarly. After taking the beauty pills and whitening pills in the past few days, they looked like water and hibiscus. The good skin looks like they are produced by the same factory, plus they have recently become popular in sister outfits, so at first glance they look like twins. "Humph, I knew he was a Neptune scumbag." Feng Yuya came to the square at some point and was standing behind Bai Qianchun. Bai Qianchun and Xiao Xingling were not surprised. Each of them had discovered him long ago. Bai Qianchun turned around and looked at him. "Are you done with your work?" Feng Yuya pursed her thin lips into a tight line, her peach blossom eyes lowered, and her red bloodshot eyes looked down at her with reluctance. Her voice was dry and low. "Well, I'm done for now, but there's an emergency happening over at the Legion, and I'm going to leave Muyuan Star and rush there right away." "Oh." Bai Qianchun nodded calmly, "It's a good journey." Feng Yuya's face fell, and he stared at her with a pair of peach blossom eyes. "Aren't you reluctant to leave me at all?" Bai Qianchun was confused. "Why should I be reluctant to let go?" The two of them faced off for 2 seconds before Fenyu was defeated. He gritted his teeth in an unhappy mood. Well, he was the one who was tempted. This woman had no heart at all. How could she be reluctant to let go? Bai Qianchun still felt that he was inexplicable. Didn't he decide to leave long ago? She snorted, took out a wooden box as big as a suitcase from the space and handed it over. Fenyu cleared up the expression on her face, stared at the box suspiciously and took it. What is this? Bai Qianchun's voice was cold. The instructions for the life-saving medicine will be sent to you shortly. Don't die so early. Fenyu's eyes suddenly lit up and she was elated. Ah, she really still cares about me. Bai Qianchun looked at his expression and felt suspicious. What did this man seem to have misunderstood? I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 345. After sending away Fenyu, Muyuan Star was officially closed to the outside world. After all the battleships and starship transports at the starry skyport left, Bai Qianchun also conducted a planet-wide inspection of Muyuan planet. After confirming that no one was stranded, he began to close the door and really start working in a big way. The large machines that were still in her dimension, Nri, were no longer hidden, and she took them all out. Agricultural robots are put into the fields, and the sound of rolling land is constant every day. Large tracts of forest are pushed over, and the trees are cut and placed in the open space to dry. In the future, they can also be used as building materials or materials for making furniture. The ground is turned over. A large area of land was reclaimed for agricultural use, and seeds of seasonal vegetables, fruits, and medicinal herbs were planted. Green Quicheng had already drawn up a rough blueprint during the days when Ye Guangzia was recovering from his leg injury. Bai Qianchun made a few changes and made a decision on the spot to follow this plan. Urban restoration also slowly began to advance. Old buildings and large overgrown plants in the city need to be demolished and pulled out. Construction robots are involved in the demolition work in the early stage. Father and son Ye Quan and Ye Qiang are the general commanders. During the demolition period, only one person needs to be left to supervise the work. One person continued to return to the Star-Lord mansion to carry out repair and reconstruction work. It can be said that with the arrival of these robots, the labor force has been greatly liberated, and the two projects can be carried out at the same time. Bai Qianchun takes charge of the overall development. Ye Qin becomes more energetic and youthful the more he works. Living up to his name as the chief steward of Muyuan Star, he coordinates the Star Master, cooperates with her orders and command, and liaises with the Star people and divides the work among them. Arrange work. For a moment, everyone worked together as one, and the Star citizens of Muyuan Star once again entered into a busy working state. The group of people who came back from Tuyuan Star were also quickly put into various positions. They were like mud in the river, unable to be lifted out at all. Wat Lang Hua, after spending a short time with their families, they also picked up their hoes one by one, picked up the seeds, and went to work together. Now everyone is in the same state. Don't say anything, roll up your sleeves and just do it. It can be said that the quality of these star citizens who are still on Muyuan planet is guaranteed, and they are all working hard for the development of Muyuan planet. Even the mercenaries of Nongui seem to have forgotten them. Now they are just prisoners of the strong labor class. One or two of them are throwing off their arms and sweating profusely, working hard, fully demonstrating what it means to join them if you can't escape. Now, they are also joining in and integrating very well. In addition, Jian Zhan and Shi Lian, who immigrated on their own initiative, also gave full play to their abilities. After Shi Lian recovered from his injury, relying on his many years of work experience, he became a squad leader and worked for Mr. Ye Qin. He shared a lot of things. It can be said that in order to gain a firm foothold on Muyuan Star, he worked hard and worked hard. He considered everything from Wuyuan Star and put forward many constructive suggestions. Based on this, he is a qualified citizen of Wuyuan Star. After Bai Jianchun completed the inspection, she felt that she no longer needed to worry about these basic constructions, so she left the careless matters to Mr. Yechin and Shi Lian, and she would do random checks at any time. Shi Lian also realized his wish, was gradually trusted, and began to gain a firm foothold. Of course, Bai Jianchun is not completely relieved. She can no longer be a hands-off shopkeeper. The trivial construction matters are left to others, but she cannot ignore Mu Yuanxing's main industry. She is very clear about the future development direction of Mu Yuanxing, and will follow the characteristic development route of mainly pills, supplemented by various fruits, vegetables, and plants. Pills are the core industry and her own job, so she is very interested in the pill factory. Quite caring. After several days of rush work, the assembly lines for small treatment pills, whitening pills, and beauty pills have now started. Mr. Mizu, Cao Ting, and Cao Jiajia had already immigrated here. They did not follow the stream to leave Muyuan planet. They moved the place where they worked making balls to the vicinity of the pill factory, built a small building, and built 2 rooms. When I get out of the office, I take care of the production of pills nearby. Apart from Bai Jianchun, they were the only ones on Muyuan planet who knew the pills best, so they were caught directly on their heads and made responsible for the quality supervision of the pills. Cao Jiajia has also been prosperous and has transformed from a college student who has not yet graduated to an employed person, and has a high salary that exceeds most of the working class people in the main star. She screamed with joy when she received the news of the appointment. In order to live up to the salary Bai Jianchun paid her, she was like taking a blood shot every day. In addition to following her grandfather to make balls and study medicinal materials, she also had breakfast early. I got up and went to inspect the factory, randomly checking the pills, and finally supervising the bottling and sealing. Mr. Mizu and Cao Ting, 2 drug addicts, like to sit in the laboratory. Now they are sitting next to the big pot studying pills. They don't like to do those trivial things, so the work in the factory is basically left to the young Cao Jiajia. An energetic little girl. Cao Jiajia suddenly felt the pressure doubled, but it was undeniable that she was perseverant. In just a few days, she began to transform and grow, from a lively, casual, and laughing little girl to a serious and reliable quality inspection supervisor. I also learned a little bit about the leadership style of a professional manager from Shi Lian. Bai Jianchun was also very pleased to see it, and he safely handed over most of the supervision and inspection matters of the pill factory to her. Of course, the decision-maker was still Yechin, with Shi Lian as his assistant. After all, Shi Lian came late and has little qualifications. Although he is very capable, it is related to the core of Muyuan Star. Now he can only be a peripheral deputy in charge of the construction of Muyuan Star. In addition to the pill factory still needing to be expanded and made bigger and stronger, the necessary item porcelain bottle that pills need to be equipped with must also be prepared, and there will be a lot of demand for it in the future. Because of the import trouble, Bai Jianchun had the idea to build a porcelain bottle manufacturing factory on Muyuan planet, so that he could be self-sufficient. Moreover, there are also professionals who make porcelain. It is Lin Bai, the leader of the group of people who just returned from Wuyuan Star. Bai Jianchun calls him Grandpa Bai. Lin Bai's strength is almost the same as that of Mr. Yechin. Mr. Yechin is the #1 and strongest old man on Wuyuan planet, so he is the second most powerful old man. Because of his many years of experience working outside with the people of Muyuan Xing, he has mastered many skills and can be said to be versatile. Porcelain making is one of his many talents. Bai Jianchun just expressed her idea and asked if there were any talents in this field. He then volunteered and signed up. He spent a day making a high-end kill and made the first kill according to Bai Jianchun's request. 100 white porcelain bottles were batched and marked with the anti-counterfeiting mark belonging to their MUN star. 100 porcelain vases were all fired successfully, which shows that Lin Bai is a man of real ability. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 346. Bai Qianchun beamed and immediately appointed him as the person in charge of the porcelain kill factory, responsible for the production of porcelain bottles. However, the porcelain kill factory has just started, and the machinery is not equipped yet, so it can only be done manually. Bai Qianchun assigned Lin Bai an assistant, Ye Yang's eldest brother Ye Feng. Because Ye's parents were unreliable, Ye Feng left Muyuangxing early and became a migrant worker. He is a 32-year-old man, mature, steady, independent, and protective of his younger siblings. His relationship with Lin Bai is even better than his biological father, plus he is willing to learn and work hard, and has also learned some porcelain making skills, so it is completely feasible to become Lin Bai's assistant. Bai Qianchun liked him very much because of his protective attitude towards Ye Yang, so she treated him generously and promoted his position and salary, which was equivalent to that of a deputy factory director. Salary. After all, for such an old man who has yet to marry a wife, single tax is also a big burden. A higher salary can reduce his pressure. Of course, in order to expand production, the porcelain kill factory could not rely on these two labor forces alone, so Bai Qianchun placed an order with Jian Zhan and asked him to build a porcelain bottle manufacturing assembly line or a robot manufacturing production line to achieve scientific mechanized production. But Jian Zhan's major is not suitable for him. He can make a robot, but he has never been involved in such a large-scale engineering assembly line. However, in order to pay off the arrears of 120 million as soon as possible, Jian Zhan insisted. Gritting his teeth, he exerted the hard-working spirit that he had when he was in the military academy. He took the relevant information book provided by Shi Lian and started to chew on it. He made a ruthless look and said that he must work hard for the porcelain kill factory and build the machine. Posture. Ye Yang was interested in this and studied along with him. He used to study machine learning and had some knowledge of manufacturing machinery. He might as well study together and see how much the level of these machines has improved in the interstellar era. After the porcelain kill factory was managed by professionals, Bai Qianchun devoted most of his energy to the research of new pills and star network. Xingguang's Muyuangxing official store is now Muyuangxing's only open channel to the outside world, and it is also the only source of economic income. It must be a top priority and cannot be left careless. After handing it over to Du Li and Jian Yang, she kept an eye on it. But the good news is that through Leng Xiao, she also discovered a talent, that is, Leng Xiao's grandfather, Mr. Mi Zhen, once studied star network construction and participated in the construction of the star network. Although the star network has now been revised many times, it has been updated for several generations, which has long covered up the traces of his past, but it cannot change his professionalism and ability in this area. Out of a thirst for talents, Bai Qianchun rushed to hire Mr. Mi Zhen as the general consultant of their Muyuan Star official website on the star network. Mr. Mi Zhen immediately agreed with a smile after she opened her mouth. As if he had been prepared for it. Maybe he wanted to go out on his own, so he passed on his skills through his eldest grandson, Leng Xiao, who had a good relationship with Bai Qianchun. But no matter what, it's a good thing that talent comes to your door. Mr. Mi Zhen was hired on the same day and couldn't wait to take office. The other benefits haven't been seen yet, but the decoration changes in the store are real. It was originally just a template web shop using ordinary random mode. Now after being renovated and designed by Mr. Mi Zhen, the homepage immediately became beautiful and energetic, with beautifully designed pictures and the scenery of their Mu-UN planet. The fruits and vegetables in the pictures are even more fresh and mouth-watering. They are several times more beautiful than the pictures I took casually and put up there before, and my appetite immediately came up. In short, after his one-hand operation, the store was dozens of times taller than the previous simple store. Du Le and Ji Yang gave a thumbs up in admiration. They had been decorating the store recently. I'm worried, the appearance of the store represents the facade. If you want to do a good job in sales, the facade is also the top priority. But neither of them is a professional. They originally wanted to learn from Jianzhan, who was self-taught like Jianzhan, who picked up a cantilever, a cone, and stabbed the buttocks, but now there is no need. Now that the professional comes and takes action, he immediately saves the recent. The two of them were dizzy after learning, and they shouted excitedly that they wanted to become their apprentices. In this regard, Mr. Mi Zhen said very reservedly that he would not accept his apprenticeship, but if the two of them didn't know anything, they could ask him at any time. The two younger ones were not dissatisfied, but were happy to have such a powerful person supporting them. Then they gave full play to the spirit of asking questions when they didn't understand and asked Mr. Mi Zhen for advice. As the saying goes, love what you do. Since Du Le wants to do well in online sales, he must also know something about StarNet. In short, it is always right to learn more. Their proactive learning attitude satisfied both Mr. Mi Zhen and Bai Qianchun. In this regard, the operation issues related to the Star Network store have also been resolved, and the staff are also very harmonious. Mr. Mi Zhen said that it is a pity that there is no Star Network cabin on Mu-UN planet, and you cannot directly log into the Star Network. Otherwise, you can still open it on the Star Network. A formal shop. Mr. Mi Zhen lamented that it was obvious that the current screen-based stores operated by optical computers could no longer satisfy him. Projection login Star Network was his home court. Therefore, Bai Qianchun came up with the idea of buying a batch of Star Network cabins to bring to Mu-UN planet. Not only to open a store, but also to enter the military academy in the future. In the past, military school examinations were said to include dangerous assessment competitions, similar to wilderness survival. Now there are many such simulated assessment competitions on the Star Network. You can experience the military school examinations in depth. If you don't experience it, you will fall behind. In addition, you can also practice mechas. Mecha-type people must be able to operate some mechas, which is also the basis of the assessment. Now that they have no mechas to practice on Jupiter, the only way to practice is on the Star Network, and the Star Network is safer than real practice. The individual mecha soldiers of the Huayao Empire all started practicing on the Star Network. For the military school examination and for the future of the children on Mu-UN planet, the Star Network cabin is indeed indispensable. Bai Qianchun immediately placed a big order on the Star Network, buying 30 Star Network cabins, and then contacted Lao Liuguan CAO to ask him to help bring them. As the young lady of the Feng family, she has many more resources than before. Taking transportation as an example, Mu-UN planet did not have its own starship transport ship before. Without a passing starship, they would be trapped in the on Mu-UN planet. It costs a lot of money to buy things from outside and ship them in. But now, Fen Yuyu helped her open the transportation route and boarded the Sheng family starship. It was much more convenient to buy things from outside. Moreover, Guan Cao was now considered a person on Mu-UN planet, so he asked him to pick up a cargo. It's great to have it delivered to Mu-UN planet from the Space Center without having to pay transportation fees. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 347. After a few days of sales at the Mu-UN Star Specialty official store, fruits and vegetables have been successively taken by starship transport ships to the hands of buyers on major planets. The comments below the store's comment area have also fermented for a period of time. It started popping up. I love big buns. I ate 6 meals a day and didn't even finish it in the end. I had no choice but to call some of my good brothers to share it. Everyone who has eaten there said it is good. I think the seller needs to solve one problem, that is, there is too little stock. I would like to buy a few more to cover all the meals for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, but it is out of stock. Good stuff. Put it on the shelf, put it on the shelf, put it on the shelf quickly. I will buy a few bunches of grapes first to keep myself alive, and then I will buy them again when my big watermelon comes. A certain tycoon from the main star. I didn't catch up with the opening of Muyuan Star to pick it in person, so I had to buy it online and try it out. The result was incredible. The Star Master I chose this time from Muyuan Star was good. The additional attributes are even more annoying. Hello, Mom, it's much better than the previous dog named Wang Zi. I just don't like eating small and delicate things. If you are a macho man, you should eat big ones. Durian, the supergiant durian must be the first fruit on the throne. With its mellow aroma and size, it took our family of 5 to kill one for 5 days in a row. But my family does not lie to my family, even if they eat giant durians for 5 days in a row. I'm not tired of it either, but the supply is too little. The customer service said that all the durians on Muyuan Star have been taken over by an unknown tycoon. It's sad that it's sold out. Once again I regretted not rushing to Muyuan Star. Someone from Edge Star is a stupid rich man with a lot of money, ha 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 ha. I also jumped on the fashion and bought fruits from Muyuan Star. To be honest, after experiencing that shit called Wang Zi from the previous Star Master, I'm not interested in Muyuan Seeing. The things are cheap and expensive. Yuan Seeing is amazing. I'm giving you face. Even if I'm a rich man, I won't be willing to be deceived. But, here comes the point, but this time it's a Muyuan Star Master. Alas, it's really different. Originally, I just wanted to see what kind of bird the Muyuan Star Master was this time, so I hurried back to buy a super big pomegranate and observed the character of this Star Master. Who knew that this big pomegranate was taller than me? It conquered me directly. A pomegranate is called a large one with a thin skin and filling. No, it has a thin skin and large particles. The pomegranate particles inside are about the size of my fist, which is as big as a sandbag. When crushed, it is full of fresh and sweet juice. In one word, it's refreshing. Pomegranate juice is so refreshing, I asked my stupid brother to crush it, put it in a glass bottle and keep it chilled. I'm going to have a barbecue party at home tonight. This is the best drink, and it also helps me earn face, ha ha ha. I won't say any more. I'm going to send invitations to my wealthy friends. Miss Pink, this big banana tastes so good. It's soft and waxy, and the price of this fruit is the same as the market price. It's really not expensive at all. Even an ordinary civilian like me can afford it. Woo woo woo. Muyuan Star Master is really great. I heard that Muyuan Star Master is a young lady and a hero in the previous border war. I hope that young lady will get well soon and live for a long time, so that I can eat cheaply for the rest of my life. Affordable and delicious fruit. Miss Hygia, big cherries. I have to recommend big cherries. They are big, red, and taste great. They are countless times more delicious than the cherries carefully cultivated in my plantation. Damn it, if I had known I would have followed them to Jupiter. I heard from my little sisters who went to Jupiter that you can pick and eat by yourself on Jupiter. In the morning when there are still dewdrops, it tastes the sweetest when you eat it. I really want to experience it. Do you, add 1, good sisters. I am also the one who regrets not going to Muyuan Star together, and there is another sad thing. My little sisters who went to Muyuan Star all turned white. We agreed to be members of the Wu family together, but in the end, they turned white behind my back, from the inside out, white and rosy, with a very good complexion. I was so jealous of them. The most important thing is that you didn't even tell me the secret to whitening. Damn it, the secret to whitening must be hidden on Jupiter. Customer service guys, can you tell me the secret to whitening? Please, 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 I give your big strawberry a 5-star rating. This comment quickly caught the attention of Yeshue, who manages the Xin Wang store. Yeshue, Ye Yang's second sister, this girl is beautiful. Although she looks weak, she is actually tough and strong. She has her own opinions. She was targeted by the unscrupulous Shui family on Tuyuan Star and promised after being offered a lot of benefits, I could still remain calm and rational and refuse. After getting along with each other, Bai Qianchun felt that this girl was smart, meticulous, and a good talker, so the Xin Wang store became more and more lively, with more and more people consulting, and Du Le and Jian Yang were almost squeezed out of time. I brought her over when I was selling pills to be in charge of customer service. Facts have proved that Bai Qianchun is very discerning, and Yeshue is also very capable. She got started immediately on the first day of work. She comforted the customers very well, and even those who deliberately wanted to criticize were met with gentle words without using any curse words. When she returned, her methods were gentle and not rude. She is largely responsible for maintaining the current harmonious scene in the comment area. Now, after Yeshue saw this comment, her smart mind immediately thought of the future business of selling pills. So I took the opportunity to reply and leave a comment. At Duduyu, for the sake of such a cute little fish, I can tell you a little bit. We do have a whitening secret on Wuyuan planet, and our Star Master is generous enough to share it with the Empire girls who love beauty. Please share it together. The details are still under confidentiality. Please pay more attention to the news on our Wuyuan Xingbo. Any news will be announced there. Dudu fish, ouch, ouch, is it true? Great, I'm waiting, follow Wuyuan Xingbo immediately, move the small bench and sit and wait, well-behaved JPG. Countless replies quickly followed this comment, triggering an upsurge in building construction. Dongfang Yu, are you going to sell that? Are you going to sell that? I know that the ancient medicine Star Master will not hide his secrets. Ha ha ha. I don't have to fight alone this time. I have to call everyone in my family. I can't beat you all together, but I can't beat you in reality. How can I beat you on Starnet? I don't believe that I, a top lady in the shopping world, can't grab you with the hand speed I have developed over 30 years. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 348. Mecha's stunning shot. Hey, is this the one that sells whitening? We tough guys don't need whitening. If we do, we need to heal our wounds. Even with my hand speed of practicing mecha for 20 years, I will never give up. I love big steamed buns. What's your condition? What's the whitening? What's the treatment? Is it possible that the awakening attribute of Wuyuan Star Lord is more than huge? Are there any other properties with special effects? Big strawberry Saijao, yes, don't get excited, someone can give us some popular science. I'm so curious. Oops, is there anything that we, the people of the Empire, cannot know? Miss High Family, yes, who can tell me what is the secret to whitening? My little sisters who came back from Jupiter seem to be mysterious and they just refuse to tell me. They must be jealous of my beauty, and are afraid that I will overwhelm them when I turn white. Dongfang Yu, don't be anxious, you'll know when the Wuyuanxing store puts it on the shelves. Okay, let's all go away, there's nothing to talk about. Miss High Family, why are you rushing people in such a hurry? Do you not want our attention? You have a problem, you must be hiding some big treasure. Everyone, hurry up and mobilize your relatives and friends who have been to Wuyuan planet to ask what big treasure is hidden on Wuyuan planet. Pomegranate owner, yes, I really want to know. I remembered that my neighbor's cousin's sister seems to have traveled to Wuyuan planet. I will ask her right away. Blue Kid should also protect himself. I will also ask. My cousin's cousin and her cousin's husband have both been to Wuyuan Star, they must know. Dongfang Yu never expected that. She originally wanted to disperse this floor so as not to attract more competitors. Who would have thought that it would be better if she didn't post it? Once she did, it immediately aroused the curiosity of others. As a result, The floors were getting higher and higher, and more people said that they knew someone who had been to Muyuan planet, and wanted to ask what big treasure was hidden. Dongfang Yu, it's very strange. She was panicking, fearing that some acquaintances would find out about her vest and attract a siege, so she felt guilty and quickly went offline and slipped away. It was just that she was happy for a while, but she didn't expect that the comment would become more and more popular, and it would become a hot search on star.com. It's over, Barbie is Ching now. The news that there is a big treasure hidden on Muyuan planet can no longer be concealed. Countless people in the empire are either curious or watching, and they know everything they should know and shouldn't know. She didn't know she was in trouble until her good sister who went to Muyuan Star sent her an angry essay of 1,000 words. It was a moment of pleasure, leaking secrets about the crematorium. Fortunately, her little vest was still tightly wrapped, so no one knew about it except this little sister. However, to be on the safe side, she quickly withdrew the account and planned to register a new one to stay at Muyuan Xingbo. But this hot search has set off a huge wave, sending Muyuan Xing Big Baby to the top of the hot search. With his C-position debut, the popularity can no longer be resisted. Curious people come one after another. Muyuan Xingbo's number of fans has soared from a few single digits to millions, and the official store of Muyuan Xing specialty products has also benefited from this. The number of orders has increased crazily. Within a few minutes, all the fruits and vegetables that were just put on the shelves today were sold out. Even 300 million wild onions and 300 million pieces of garlic were sold out and marked as sold out. It's crazy to kill and buy like crazy. This rapid sweep shocked Yeshua, Du Li, and others who managed Star Network, and also made Bai Jianchun deeply understand that popularity is traffic, and traffic is money. The people of this interstellar are really making money, especially the Star Network. Before, she only paid a few more attention to the public opinion war on Shaking Star, but now she really feels its benefits. Mr. Mijan, who silently posted the post on seeing Wang and added fuel to the flames, drank the boiled water in his hand with a raised eyebrow and a smile, hiding his fame and fortune. Star Network store managers Yeshua, Du Li, and Jian Yang looked at Bai Jianchun with bright eyes. Star Master, when will we start selling pills? Du Li couldn't hide the excitement on his face. This hot search is focusing on whitening pills, so should we follow the original plan and sell the small treatment pill first? This Bai Jianchun lowered her eyes and hesitated for a moment. She originally planned to take it step by step. First, she would promote a small treatment pill that is cheap and easy to use and suitable for everyone to have as a household medicine, gain popularity and lay a solid foundation, and then sell it. Other expensive pills. But now the plan cannot keep up with the changes, and the whitening pill seems to have become famous first. In addition, netizens with powerful skills also dug out the hair growth pills that she originally sold at the Yao Guangxing free trade market. Countless bald patients sent in urging her to put the hair growth pills on the shelves. This is coming fiercely. The momentum of promoting the product to the shelves is no less than that of promoting the secret of whitening. She never expected that the perseverance of bald patients could still be preserved to this day. In addition, the group of people who had added communications at Yao Guangxing Sanatorium also sent messages urging them to order, hoping to use the priority channel. Because these people were her first loyal customers, and they had an order form before, Bai Jianchun couldn't refuse, so she gritted her teeth and said, "Sell together." The production process of the small treatment pill is less. In addition, the second assembly line is started, so the inventory quantity will be larger now. The whitening pills also entered the assembly line before and rolled out a batch. The quantity is smaller than that of the small treatment pill. Phew, the beauty pill robots were only arranged yesterday, and the quantity is smaller. So, at 8 o'clock tonight, these three kinds of pills will be sold together. We will sell as many as we have in stock, and then we will unify them after 3 days. Sell. After Bai Qianchun finished speaking, she turned to look at Shi Lian behind her, who looked like an elite male secretary, and asked, "Has the ball-making robot for the 5th assembly line in the factory been made?" Shi Lian smiled gently, "Yes, Jianzhan has already made the shape, and the last step left is program setting." He also asked before, "What kind of pills should the 5th assembly line make?" "Star Master, you are needed. Send me the production process." Bai Qianchun nodded, "Okay, let's make hair growth pills next." It seems that a lot of people are worried about baldness now. As she spoke, she subconsciously glanced at the heads of the people present. Mi Zhen reached out and touched his white hair, which was still very thick, and smiled happily. Fortunately, he was not one of those who suffered from baldness. His hair was fine, but that old boy Ye Bai was. "You can try this new pill made by the Star Master. The old boy has been leading the juniors of Muyuan Star to travel around all year round. He has been worrying so much that the hair on his forehead is thinning." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 349. According to the plan, after discussing with everyone, while waiting for the big pot of rice to be served, Bai Qianchun picked up the communicator, operated it, and sent a second star blog. In response to everyone's enthusiastic appeal, at 8 o'clock tonight, 3 new products will be launched in the official store of Muyuanxing Specialty Products. 1. Whitening Secret Whitening Pills. 1 pill will make your skin white from the inside out. Beauty Elixir, modify facial contours, make your facial muscle tissue perfectly distributed, and solve skin problems such as multi-layered wrinkles, eye lines, forehead lines, etc. 3. Small Treatment Elixir, repair small wounds, a must. Have medicine at home. Details. Please go to the store to view the product details. We will start buying at 8 o'clock tonight. The quantity is limited, while supplies last, first come, first served. As soon as the Star blog was posted, the millions of fans who followed Muyuan Star blog immediately received a ding ding dong dong notification. They clicked in and took a look. It was amazing. Their eyes were as bright as 2 big light bulbs, flashing. People were blind, and then everyone complained in the comment area, setting off a carnival. Kikiki, yes, yes, the big treasure on Muyuan Star is the pill. If it is so effective, I will definitely grab it. I will remember it at 8 o'clock in the evening. See you there. My family lives by the sea. Although I don't know much about pills, I was shocked this should also be a kind of medicine, right? What does it look like? Let me be healthy, let me be healthy. Internet addicted man picking at his feet. Look at my hand speed. After being single for 40 years, no one should try to steal beauty pills from me. Damn, I failed in my blind date again yesterday. That girl dislikes me because I have heavy wrinkles on my forehead and I look like a bad old man. Humph. When I got rid of the wrinkles on my forehead and became more handsome, I would slap her face in front of her and say, "You can't reach me today, ha 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 ha." To Yuanxing little pimple, wow, it turns out that the big baby is this whitening pill. Tell me, why did that boy from the Meng family go to Muyuanxing? Muyuanxing's handsome little face became redder and whiter, which made my mother even more affectionate. When I asked him what skincare products he used, he said it was because of his natural beauty and the fact that the Muyuan Star has good feng shui. Bah, I knew this guy was cunning and didn't tell the truth. It turned out to be the effect of this whitening pill. Buy it. Buy it, I have seen the effect with my own eyes. It is worth buying. Hey, my face, which is as black as briquettes, can be saved now. A page. Twin Gemini stars, the secret of whitening is so popular that it even became a hot search. I'm just a passerby, I'm just joining in the fun, but you can try these whitening pills. I've used so many whitening products, I don't mind trying this one again. 1. I hope that Jupiter can be worthy of the glory of its origin star and stop selling fakes. Girl in love, my boyfriend went to Muyuan Star and sent me a photo of a fancy dress wearing a goldfish bowl. He said he was buying something. He came back to bring me a gift, and then he brought me 2 Big Macs and peaches. Although the Big Mac peach is indeed delicious, I still feel that something is wrong, and now I understand. I feel sorry for him. His face turned white when he was picking things in the wild. He lied to me and said that his physique is just like this. The more he is exposed to the sun, the whiter he becomes. Oh, bah, that dog is probably stuffing whitening pills into his own mouth. Dogs are better than men. Just wait, I'm going to break your dog's legs. Serious Cotter, girl, I advise you not to have a man like you. Dishonesty is the biggest trauma in a relationship, and even small healing pills cannot save it. Tu Yuengxing Xiaokaiose, yes, yes, you can't keep this man for the new year. The most glib-tongued guy like a pretty boy is unreliable, but a rough guy like me who is upright and upright is more reliable. The young man from the Li family, yes, you can't be a bitch. Even a man like me can't stand it. Girl, I don't want a man who can't give you whitening pills. Girl in love, you are alright when I kick this one off. The next person who grabs the whitening pill and beauty pill and gives it to me will be my boyfriend. In the bustling comment area, people gradually said, gifts include whitening pills as gifts, and if you want a boyfriend, look for someone who can give you whitening pills and beauty elixirs. However, Bai Qian-chun still smiled brightly after seeing this. Okay, and reading these gossips occasionally can also relax the body and mind, and then give birth to some emotions and desires. The corners of Bai Qian-chun's mouth curled up, feeling the peace and excitement in this prosperous age that concealed the undercurrent. There was light in a pair of black eyes, which gradually became distant. She didn't know what was going on with Fen Yuyu. It had been several days since he left Muyuan planet. Although he had received constant news, he had never mentioned the matter of red silk cells. She couldn't help but think about it when she was free. It was also carried slightly. When CAO arrived, Fen Yuyu's name immediately lit up in his address book. Bai Qian-chun looked at the time. This time after dinner was indeed the time when he usually contacted her. After picking up the call, Bai Qian-chun looked at the person on the other side of the screen staring straight at her without saying anything. She raised her eyebrows slightly and the smile at the corner of her mouth spread unconsciously. Speak, don't waste time. I hurried back to research new pills, and I have to check the sales situation at 8 o'clock in the evening. If you don't tell me, I will give up. The expression on Fen Yuyu's demonic face with flying eyebrows suddenly fell. He looked at the soft and beautiful face opposite him who thought about it day and night, and shouted quickly, No, 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 don't be so heartless, I say. Just one communication opportunity a day can relieve his lovesickness. Usually, even if he has nothing to do, he will find something to do and just talk about it to prolong the communication time. Today, it is rare that he has an interesting thing that he can talk about for a long time. How could the communication be disconnected so early? He adjusted the angle and stared at the screen with his face at the perfect angle. He smiled with peach blossom eyes and said, Do you still remember that His Highness the Prince returned to Ye Yang Prime to settle accounts with the fourth prince? Bai Qian-chun stopped pressing the hang-up button and leaned back under a tree with flying red silk. Under the sunset, her facial features became more delicate and beautiful. She raised her eyebrows and looked, I can't remember. As for how bad it is, it's not even half a month away, how can I forget about it? Fen Yuyu raised his lips, smiled fondly, and whispered, Well, I know you have a good memory, so I just asked casually. Then with a gossipy smile on his face, he officially got to the point. His Royal Highness flew directly back to the main star and entered the palace, but he did not see the fourth prince. He went out to participate in school activities and did not come back until today. Fourth prince, in order to compete for her son's favor, the prince's mother and concubine specially invited His Majesty the Emperor to hold a family banquet. All members of the royal family who had free time in the afternoon returned to the palace. No, she didn't know yet that this family banquet to compete for favor could be given to her son. Her son has caused big trouble, and has also given our prince a legitimate reason to enter the palace. I became the richest man in the world by making meatballs. Author, Lanshan Luzi. Chapter 350. Although His Highness the Prince is married, his title is still there and he is still a member of the royal family. Naturally, she was included in this family dinner. After receiving the news in the afternoon, she went directly to the palace. She fell ill on the spot after meeting the fourth prince. Fenyu laughed softly as he spoke. Then he felt that his description might be too pale, so he came across a small screen and played a short video for Bai Jianchun to let her feel more intuitively. The video begins with His Royal Highness walking into the open-air banquet spot. His Royal Highness in the video has changed his outfit today. It is no longer the slim and elegant skirt, but a red skirt with a large hem. There is also a pair of shoes under his feet. Thin high heels that look like they could stab someone to death. She walked through the door step by step. Her gorgeous rose-red dress was dazzling. She was as proud and domineering as a queen. Her aura was even greater than that of the mother-in-law who hosted the fourth prince. The screen flashed by, and Bai Jianchun could still see it. Concubine Shen's face turned ugly for a moment, but she soon recovered her smile. She was worthy of being a woman in the palace, and she managed her expression well. Well, of course, these are just minor episodes. The focus is on the next scene. I saw Her Royal Highness greeting the people around her in a slightly arrogant and noble manner. Then when she met the fourth prince, her expression suddenly changed. First he rubbed his temples with a painful expression on his face, then the veins on his neck bulged, his eyes were scarlet, and he performed a manic episode for them on the spot. Then the fourth prince Jin Yurun opposite her became miserable. His body froze and he wanted to step back, but it was too late. One of His Highness's hands coated with red kodan directly grabbed his hair, and the other hand she grabbed his collar and dragged him forward. Then, with a bang, a fist struck Huang Longzhe and hit Qin Yurun in the face. Qin Yurun's warm skin held up 2 bottles of nosebleeds that ruined his image. You could feel his shock and confusion through the screen. Ah, what are you doing? Come on, come on. His Royal Highness is crazy. Sharp and harsh screams rang out, and the originally harmonious banquet with peaceful singing and dancing immediately became noisy, and the surrounding waiters stepped forward to help. But it was too late. How could the lunatic let go of his prey? Suddenly Qin Menyun's body flashed with dazzling supernatural power, and a golden blade of light swept through the air, as if his supernatural powers were also going crazy and out of control, cutting the wine glass. The table was cut off, the grass on the ground was overturned, and the things prepared for the banquet were scattered. Food, red wine, and other utensils were scattered all over the floor. And Qin Yurun in the center of the storm was like a dehydrated fish. No matter how much he struggled, even using his powers was of no avail. When Qin Menyun caught him, he hit her hard, and she was like a madman suffering from mania. What kind of martial arts do you know? If you only hit people in the face, just hit Qin Yurun on that gentle face that can deceive thousands of girls. Then with another force, Qin Menyun's legs under the hem of her skirt were very flexible, and she kicked Qin Yurun without any hesitation, knocking him to the ground, and stepped hard on his unspeakable buttocks, using the knife that could stab him to death. Qin Yurun stepped on the personal high-point sole, no longer caring about the prince's elegant face. He lay on the ground with one hand covering his butt and the other crawling on the ground. He crawled forward in grief, anger, and panic. The look of panic on his face almost disappeared from the screen. It overflowed. Bai Jianchun took one look and realized that these were the battle clothes and boots specially prepared by His Royal Highness for this crazy show. By the end of the video, the belatedly arriving guards finally worked together to suppress His Royal Highness's rampaging powers. The general was already beaten into a beggar, with a pig-headed face that even his mother and concubine could hardly resist. Qin Yurun was rescued. As for His Royal Highness, she did not suffer much. After Qin Yurun was rescued, she seemed to be in the weak stage of mania. She was subdued without much resistance. Then His Majesty the Emperor rushed over and had her rushed to the hospital. After being admitted to the hospital, there was no chance of accountability at all. As for the follow-up, I don't know. The video is gone at this point. However, she also had Feng Yuyu, who was very keen on sharing gossip with her. Without Bai Qianchun asking, he took the initiative to add the follow-up. After His Highness the Prince was sent to the hospital, Qin Yurun's mother and concubine still wanted to hug him. She complained to her tattered son who had been beaten into a pig's head, but His Majesty the Emperor said lightly, "Menyun is manic." She didn't mean it. Why can't Yurun, a man, bear such an injury? A nephew must be considerate of his aunt. Sent away. Feng Yuyu raised the corners of his mouth happily, and his low, magnetic voice was full of mockery. My uncle, despite his usually kind and gentle appearance, is also confused when it comes to women, but he does care about the orthodoxy and stability of the royal family. He must be dissatisfied with Qin Yurun's recent high-profile promotion of fame and reputation. My cousin is his destined heir. Although he also loves his other sons, it cannot affect my cousin's position as heir. This time he stands. His Highness the Prince revealed the matter lightly, which means that he beat Qin Yurun, mother and son. So His Highness the Prince chose this time well. There will be no punishment if he hits someone crazy, and His Majesty the Emperor will stand by her to help her get away. As he spoke, he clicked his tongue. It's a pity. His Royal Highness hit him so hard that his face was maimed. I can't see his expression clearly, but I can imagine it must be very exciting. Maybe he is so angry that he is vomiting blood now, and after what happened at the banquet, the people he used to win over through reputation are all in vain. Those people are smart and know what His Majesty the Emperor means by this approach. After hearing his teasing words, Bai Qianchun realized deeply that no one in the royal family was stupid. His Highness the Prince was so clever. How could it be her fault for hitting someone when she was manic? After all, it was not her subjective consciousness. She was just sick. Who would care about a patient? If you really care about it, that's called being petty. Bai Qianchun sighed in her heart. It has to be said that Qin Menyun's acting skills are also excellent. If she hadn't been well versed in the micro-expressions of various patients, she really couldn't catch the slightest flaw. She would have thought she was having a manic episode. Woolen cloth. Are you back to the main star now? Bai Qianchun couldn't help but ask as he looked at the opposite person with a wide smile on his face, like a fox that got a piece of chicken. Feng Yuyu shook his head. No, I'm on genuine star now. Bai Qianchun, then how come you have this video and how can you shoot it so cunningly? The video clearly showed the ugly state of Qin Yurun being beaten, and it was also a high-definition enlarged version. It was hard for her not to suspect that the person who shot the video had a big grudge against Qin Yurun. Understanding the meaning of her words, Feng Yuyu grinned. Qin Yurun has many enemies, there is no need for me to do it myself.